I was honored when Pastor Joy asked me to speak this morning about stewardship until I found out she'd asked 17 people and they all said no. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Sorry. As most of you know, I was asked to do services here several years ago while you were searching for a new pastor. And even though I was very uncomfortable at first, I soon found myself being drawn in by the people here. I was welcomed, accepted, and this helped me to become more at ease. As my wife and I got to know more about the people here and many missions the church supports, we both decided to get more involved and also recently decided to increase our financial support to help sustain the church and its missions. Now, I'm not going to go into all that the church does here, but know that many are fed and clothed and supported, both physically and spiritually, locally and worldwide, because of your giving of time, talents, and treasures. So yes, not just financial gifts, but also of your time and talents. It takes many hands to keep all that goes on in this church moving forward. Now, if you're wondering why you can't just put a check or cash into the collection plate instead of pledging, the answer is you can. But it helps the leadership of the church a lot to have a concrete number going forward into the new year to budget the needs. And if you do pledge an amount, know that you can always decrease or even increase if your situation changes at any time. I want to read Mark 12:41 through 44. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting in their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came out and put in 2 very small copper coins, worth only a fraction of a penny. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put in more than all of the others. They gave out of their wealth, but she gave out of her poverty. She put in everything that she had to live on." So what Jesus is saying here is that it's not about the amount, it's about the faith that you have in God to provide for you, and that you're willing to trust Him with what He's given you, really, and what He will give you in the future. So it's about faith. What I recommend is pray about it. Pray about it. Ask God what is the correct amount for you to give to help sustain this church and its missions. I found out, found out a couple of weeks ago that my daughter was also going to be doing a stewardship talk at Old North Church in Boston. So that's the church where they hung the lanterns for Paul Revere so that they would know the British were coming by sea. I want to read a small part of what she wrote because much of it is relevant to this church and to the people here. This is her words. "This church has been here for hundreds of years. The building is old, the bells are old, we're steeped in history no matter where you look. But it isn't the building that keeps this church going, it's the people. It's our dedication to trying our best to act out God's love. This church community will always be here for you, regardless of whether you decide to pledge or not. But if you want to be a part of the reason why it is here, the reason why we're able to come here every Sunday and worship, consider pledging. Or maybe ushering, or maybe reading. We always need people, because ultimately these are the things that help keep this community able to do what it does. These are the things that when you do them among friends, don't feel so much like an obligation, but rather a chance to be a part of this very special community. I really like that last sentence she closed with. Matthew 6:21 says, "Where your heart is, there is your treasure." With all that's going on in the world right now, it's a good time to be reminded that our focus should be on Christ the King and God's kingdom. This life is fleeting, but eternity awaits us all. Where do you want to concentrate your time, treasure, and talents with the time that you have left here? Thank you.